Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we will be doing a first look at the game Tankschlacht. This is Great War Battles Volume 2 from Revolution Games. And it follows the Death of an Army, which was an Ypres game, which was Volume 1. And I did do some video on that. So if you want to see anything about that particular entry in the system, it is available here on the channel. But the matter at hand, of course, is this game, which is pretty much new. Just got it from Revolution very recently. And so I'm going to take a look at what we've got in here. Now, it is a bagged game. You can, I believe, get the boxed version as well. So there is no back cover, essentially, at least not visible here in the bag. Bag itself. That was a nice noise. So here, right, here's our cover matter, and on the back we have a turn record track, looks like, British offboard artillery, 4th Corps, 5th Corps, 6th Corps, and the 7th Corps, tank breakdowns, destroyed and withdrawn units. Right, then we have our fire combat results table. We have 2 copies of that, which also includes our artillery mission chart, our melee combat results table. So you got 2 CRTs on here, one for fire and one for melee. On the back, we do have our TEC, terrain effects chart, which does include, differentiates actually between hex and hexside, which is pretty cool because there are some TECs that don't do that. A lot of them do, I'll be honest, but this actually tells you that this is a hex side. It's canal, wet canal, dry canal. So you get 2 kinds of canals, streams, rail bridges and bridges, etc. Of course, the helpful image of what it might look like, and the name, how many movement points. Then you've got your various columns for the DRMs, for barrage effects, defensive fire, melee effects, retreat points, and any notes that might help explain things about it. So we have 2 copies of that on the player aid cards, 1 for each player. This is a 2-player game, of course. Then we have the campaign game Operation GY scenario setup. So you can see you've got the British setup here. 3rd Corps, where does its headquarters go? Hex 0720. Right, then you've got some offboard artillery with it, and so on down the line through the various divisions that are a part of the 3rd Corps. Then you have the 4th Corps, the 6th Corps, the 7th Corps, Cavalry Corps, and the Royal Tank Corps, right, which is what Tankschlacht is really all about. So you can see you've got 3 companies in each of 3 tank battalions. Actually, no, companies A, B, and C, companies D, E, and F, companies G, H, I plus or I minus, I guess. And the Germans, they've got their forces as well. The 13th Corps, the 14th Reserve Corps. And on the back, we have the Angriffsschlacht scenario setup. So this would be, I guess, mid-battle, because you can see here it does denote that there are step losses to be applied to the units. So this, I'm guessing, I have not looked, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, it's a baggie. I could have cheated. I actually did not. This is my first look at the components. Okay, marker reference. Well, what do we have? Yeah, that's your terrain scenario setup. Here is our marker reference, so you can see the various markers, their names, and their description and game effects. And down here, this is useful. I'm sure it's in the rule book as well, but it is how you read a counter. And so you can see an infantry front and back with its arrival date or corps, division color, the unit size, which is a division in this case, the division ID, the brigade, regiment. Oh, this is actually, sorry, it's a brigade. Brigade regiment ID, that's 1X, not 2, Joe. Combat strength is 4, stacking points is 3. Movement allowance is 6. Then on the back, you can see we have a Stoßtruppen here, and then you have an artillery unit as well to show its unlimbered and limbered sides, right? And on here, we have our sequence of play in a handy-dandy kind of flow chart, which is relatively simple. You just follow the arrows down and up and across and then down again. Pretty straightforward, but good to have. right? So then here is our rule book, and here is the series rule book, right? So the series rules, Kerry Anderson is our designer. I think I forgot to mention that earlier, but it is helpfully right here in front of me. The series rules run 12 pages, and I won't go through these because I believe I went through them when I did the Ypres game. So I may refer you back to that. So you get 12 pages of the series rules, which cover all of your kind of basics about your components, and then you've got a glossary, preparation for play, your sequence of play, coordinated combat procedure, your movement procedure, your harassing fire, disorganization, the ever popular zone of control, hasty combat, isolation, and special rules for things like army demoralization, attacking across the open, corps and army artillery, counter battery fire, line of sight, open sights, and restructuring, designer notes and credits as well. Then the exclusive rules for this game, which I'm assuming will probably detail things about the tanks and the Staatstruppen, which it does, right there and there. German wire, enemy trenches. You got optional rules for the 51st Division, the withdrawing of divisions, Staatstruppen assignment. So really you've got like 8 pages there, and then you get victory conditions on page 8, and the campaign information starts also on page 8 and runs through page 10. So you can see you've got the campaign, then you've got Operation GY, and you've got Tankschlacht. 3 options here for gameplay, your designer notes, your bibliography, and your credits. So in lieu of what I typically do with this kind of first look type thing, I am not going to go through the rules. We will play the game. The game, like I said, I've played the Ypres game. It is not overly complex, and I will discuss the rules as I do gameplay, because I will be doing a gameplay on this. I'm thinking, here's a little nugget of information for you guys as a bonus for watching this video. I'm thinking August will be a World War I, or Great War if you prefer, month here on the channel. I have several First World War games that I would like to play that I have not gotten to the table. I think I might take care of some of them next month. All right, counter sheets. These are just disruption levels, I believe, if I remember correctly. On the back, you can see effects of them. You lose combat strength as they go up. So those are not something you don't want. You've got a break in the wire here, right? You cut the wire. Then you've got interdiction markers for both sides. And these, I think, are ways to cross the canal, like bridging or destroying bridges. That's what this is. I believe this is destroying of bridges. It's been a while since I played the first one, and I don't even know if they had those in the first one. Here are our counters. They are pretty straightforward, right? These are the British, of course. You can see the divisional color bar at the top. The corps it is assigned to, and it's identifying division and regiment, or brigade in this case, across here. So that gives you an idea of what all this stuff is. You've got some cavalry as well here, 4 cavalry units it looks like. They do have the NATO symbology, so you can tell by looking, right? These are artillery, this is infantry, these are cavalry, etc., etc. And the colors for the different organizations. So lots of British troops there. And over here, of course, you do have your strength and movement and so on, and stacking value. Stacking value is important. There are stacking limits. I promise not to look at the rules, so I'm not going to. But there will be stacking limits. I don't specifically remember what they are, but they're not very high, if I remember correctly. Then you've got your tank units. So these are interesting to look at. You can see the stacking value of 1/3. So I'm thinking in some cases it's going to be a 1, and in other cases it's going to be a 3. Then you have isolation markers, and you also have things on the back. Of course, each counter has a back for reduced strength versions of the combat units. Here we'll get the Germans, right? So you can see the Germans have their own type their own units, of course, and they have their own color scheme, and they also maintain the same format as the British forces do, as you would expect. That's not anything shocking here. Attack across open grounds, marching orders, battle markers, your game turn marker, which of course has the British on one side and the Germans on the other. So you can get a look at some of these guys here. Pretty straightforward. Now, last but certainly not least, is our map. Now, this is a decent sized map, and I will actually go to a wider angle here so you can see everything. Okay, and here you are. So Cambrai is right here. That's the biggest city, town on the map. There are plenty of other ones here, as you can see. We've got the canals here, the San Quentin Canal going through here. And I guess up to that area as well. Then there's a river down here. It's not actually marked, but it does connect to the, or it's not named, I should say. It obviously is marked on the map. But you have some marshy ground here as well. Some ridges. You got Villiers Ridge here, Welsh Ridge, and we've got some woods, the Borlon Woods here, and a ridge as well. And there's Borlon. Some more woods here, another ridge. Here are the bridges. And again, you can blow the bridges, I guess, and put a marker on there to indicate that that is the case. So this is pretty much, kind of a standard map. And I forget who did the map for this. Let me go look here. Hopefully it says. Credits, graphics. Edmund Hudson, Mark Mahaffey, and Charlie Kibler. I'm not sure who did the map. All those guys, I believe, have done maps before. But it's obviously a good map. You can see trench lines on it, as well as everything is clear. You can look at it. It's a nice white, flat background. Everything pops. You can tell what everything is. To me, that makes a good map. Your mileage may vary, but I like a functional map. I'm impressed by certain maps. I'm not going to lie, but this one is about as functional a map as you could ask for. So we have Dry Canal as well. I didn't mention that. And some roads. We do have some roads. Okay. So that, I think, is going to do it for our look at Tankschlacht from Revolution Games. Designed by Kerry Anderson. This is Great War Battles Volume 2 from Revolution Games. I thank you for watching. Quick shout out to my channel members. As always, I appreciate your support. So thank you very much. For everyone else, I do thank you for watching. While you're here, I would ask if you would consider liking, sharing, hyping, or perhaps even becoming a subscriber. That would be outstanding. If you have any questions or comments, please post them in the comment section. I will do my best to address them as soon as I can. To my subscribers, thank you for being a subscriber. It is appreciated. But that is going to do it for this one. As I said, I am going to probably try to do a Great War month next month in August. Obviously, a nod to the war beginning in August of 1914. And yeah, so you can expect to see this probably at that point, along with some other games. I can't promise how many, but there are at least 3 or 4 that pop right to mind when I think about doing this kind of thing. And you'll just have to wait to find out what those are. Sorry. So that's going to do it. I'm done. This is Joe, and you have been, I guess, watching the Hexed and Counter channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.